Hello and welcome to the Comedy Cast. I'm Spud Murphy. So hello again, you're all very welcome to another episode of the Comedy Cast. Thanks for joining me again, and if it's your first time listening, then you're very welcome. You can listen to us on thecomedycast.com, we're on iTunes, we're on Android podcast players, and we're on YouTube as well. If you'd like to get in touch with me about anything at all, then you can get me at spud@thecomedycast.com, and if you'd like to follow the Comedy Cast on social media, then the easiest way of doing it is going to thecomedycast.com, and on the left-hand side of the page, you'll see the little icons there for Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. On to today's podcast then. So today you're going to be hearing from an Irish stand-up comedian, Laura Byrne. Laura will be instantly recognisable, well, her voice will be instantly recognisable anyway, to anyone who has seen any of the Facts videos. Now, if you've not heard of Facts, it's this massive YouTube channel that makes videos of Irish comedians commenting on things like watching American TV shows for the first time, or trying Polish desserts, or watching Star Wars for the first time, things like that. We start off the interview by speaking about how much Laura's been gigging all over Ireland lately, and we speak too about coming from a place in Dublin with a mad name, Step Aside. We get on to comedy then, and we speak about how and why she got into it, starting with her getting involved with the Drama Society while in college and how she used to write plays while studying. We spoke too about how when she started her comedy career she had to battle with shyness, and how she got past that was by almost playing a role while going on stage. We have a natter then about Laura's love for music, and we find something in common that I thought I'd only suffered from. Laura tells me then about the responsibility she feels on stage and how brightening up somebody's day is one of the best feelings you can have when coming off stage. We get on to Facts then, and we speak about it and how she became involved, its huge success, and how it's great for improvisation skills. We talk too about the bizarreness of being watched by hundreds of thousands of viewers on every video she appears in, yet still being fairly anonymous in her daily life. And we speak too about some of the weird things that fans have sent her and have done with her image. I know that sounds a bit cryptic, but it's all revealed in the interview. I noticed during the interview that Laura's pretty harsh on herself, so we spoke with that for a bit, and she goes on to describe herself as an optimistic pessimist, something I can definitely identify with, as you'll hear. I hope you enjoyed the interview then, and I'll speak to you after. Hello, Laura Byrne. You're very welcome to the Comedy Cast. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you keeping?
Yeah, top of the world. So, like you said before I started recording, you're gigging tonight?
I am indeed, yeah. I'm on in the Comedy Cellar in the International Bar tonight.
Good.
Should be a bit of crack.
You're awful busy lately, aren't you? It's really good to see.
Yeah, I've been flying around and really moonlighting as a deli worker during the day and then comedian at night, so it's very hectic, but it's worth it, I think.
Yeah. So, you told me, are you from Dublin, yeah?
Yeah, from Dublin.
You're from, and it said on your Twitter you're from Step Aside, yeah?
Yeah, next up countryside.
Yeah, we've a good few international listeners that won't know where Step Aside is, so can you give us something interesting for them?
Well, it's like at the bottom of Dublin Mountain, so I suppose we're not as crazy as the people who live at the top of the mountain, but you know, we're fairly set in our ways up there.
I would have been.
It's kind of the gateway to madness. Lots of golf courses and sheep and stuff.
I would have been a neighbour of yours then about 10 years ago. I was living down in, what was it called? In Murphystown in Sandyford.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I know Step Aside. What's the pub up in Step Aside opposite the Garda station? What's that called?
The Step In.
The Step In, yeah. And I remember there was a pub opposite that even before that.
Yeah, that's gone.
Yeah, it got knocked down. We were living there. I think we left the year that got knocked down, but the Step In was mad. We had a random New Year's Eve there one day, and everyone's looking at us like, who the fuck are you and where are you from? We're from Wexford. Oh, we're from Wexford. Oh, you're from Wexford. Do you know Cork Town? I was like, oh, Jesus. Yeah.
That's every Dublin person. That's all they know. It's like, did you ever go on the waltzers and throw up after a few pints? Yeah.
So, Laura, let's get back then to the start with comedy. So how and why did you get into it? And was it something that you always wanted to do? Because I've seen you have on your Twitter bio that you have a BA or a Master's or something in music.
Yeah. So that's what I kind of always intended on doing. I studied music and French with the idea that I was going to be a teacher, because get this, right? As a teenager, I thought teaching teenagers would be fun. Then I became an adult and realised teenagers are assholes. I went to college and I got really heavily involved with the Drama Society. I did a bit of acting, but I was never really good at it. I loved doing like the comedic parts. I fed off laughter, but I was really big into writing when I was in college, and I wrote a few plays. And then we were holding a fundraiser one night, and it was something I've always wanted to do. Just always wanted to try stand up. And I was like, here, can I try and do a slot? Like, just do a 5-minute bit. And it went in really well, so I decided to pursue gigs, and it kind of just snowballed from there.
So the first gig was this fundraiser, yeah?
Yeah, it was I don't know if you have them, the Relay for Life. They've had, they're all over the world, like, you know, it's like a 24-hour cancer fundraiser. And it was, we had a team out in UCD,
So obviously, like, your next gig after that was probably an open mic, so do you remember much about that?
I have a funny feeling it was still out in college. I was still, like, amping around being like, hey, can I try and do this? Hey, any gigs, guys? You know, painfully shy, and I'm so bad at schmoozing. So, like, you know, like, someone could be like, you need to go talk to that person because he's a big cheese and this is where you get on your gigs. And I'd be like, okay, I'm just going to sit in the corner for the rest of the night. But yeah, I think there was a comedy workshop then that I signed up for the next year, and actually, like, some of the lads from that are still fun. And it's really nice seeing them around because that's where I first started doing gigs outside of college, so it was really fun.
You said that you were very shy. I suppose comedy has helped you a lot dealing with that, or do you still feel a little shy sometimes?
It's a weird sensation. I don't know. Like, I'd say other people have a similar approach to it. It's that, like, I'm a completely different person on stage. I'm full of confidence. I like to think. Probably doesn't come across that way, but yeah, it's nearly like embodying a character. I don't take on a character. I'm not a character comedian, but like, for the 10 minutes or 15, 20, whatever time you're on stage, you're in control of the mood of the room. So it's, you know, taking on that character of you know, not an authority, but, like, you know, that bit of control, and you're there to make someone laugh. And I think that's where that comes from. Like, other than that, I think I'd be painfully shy. I'm so bad in, like, situations where, you know, it's like, okay, I'm introducing you to a new person and then leaving you two alone for 20 minutes. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go look at my phone and pretend that I have loads of emails to check, you know.
That's mad. That's a mad thing. And it hasn't really come up before, so I'm going to have to dig into this a bit, man.
Yeah.
Do you think it's kind of like a coping mechanism where you're like, right, on stage, I'm the same person, but I'm kind of a heightened version of some of my characteristics? Or, you know, is it that you have a crowd in front of you and you kind of have a responsibility, maybe this is what you feel, you have a responsibility to make sure they have a good time, like?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. Like, there's nothing worse. Like, it's a really crappy feeling if you come off stage after dying on your arse, like, not getting a single laugh or nothing's flying or whatever. It's a horrible feeling because not only have you felt that you've let yourself down, but you're like, these people have paid in to see a show and you've kind of disappointed them. But so there's, like, a responsibility in that sense, especially if I'm having an off day or I'm a little bit underprepared or I want to try new material or something and it doesn't fly. I really feel guilty if that's sort of situation. But there's nothing better than, like, the buzz you get coming off stage after really rocking a gig. And, like, the whole thing behind comedy, like, before I ever started doing stand-up, I used to go and see an awful lot of stand-up shows, and I just love the idea that, like, no matter how low we feel, if this person can make you smile once, then they've done a good job. I like the idea that, like, you know, you can at least brighten up the person's day ever so slightly by making them laugh. It's an addictive thing, laughing, so it's good to be able to share that.
You're very noble, Laura.
No bells with me, just enough.
I walked into that one, didn't I? Fuck. Obviously, we'll have to talk about facts. And I looked up the website. It says that you're in 79 of their videos. So, look, for listeners who live under rocks and don't know about facts, can you explain what facts is?
Facts is a YouTube channel that people accidentally find their way onto when they're on BuzzFeed binge, and they find their way onto, like, an Irish themed video, and then suddenly they're like, why has everyone in the last 20 videos been Irish? That's essentially what it is. It's like, if people can't think of the name of the channel, they always, like, Google Irish people try, and that's the best, like, link to it. So it's just try stuff. It's great crack. We watch stuff, we taste stuff, we go on adventures, we do activities, and yeah, it's a great team of contributors.
You've been involved from the start, though, haven't you?
Not from the very, very start.
Okay.
Blogging has been like there since video one. I came around a few months into it. I started in January of 2015, I think. Yeah, let's say that. Or February. Actually, I think my first video was the Valentine's Day video, and I had no idea what to expect, and it was really late, so I ran to the studio. So I'm sweating profusely in like the first three videos. I mean, just from getting lost and having to sprint to a place. But yeah, I think you can see my shyness at the start of the video. I'm really like quite introverted, very quiet. I'm quiet in general. I'm very soft spoken, but yeah, really, really quiet in those videos. And then I eventually started to come out of my shell as I got more comfortable around people. So it's a great practice for improvising as well, because you have to think on the spot. You're going into so many things that you've never seen or never experienced for the first time, so you are thinking on the spot and giving your opinion on it, and it's proved to be like really beneficial for like improvising. If something goes wrong in comedy or you get heckled or whatever, you have to deal with people like that. So yeah, it's been useful, not just a waster on the internet.
Look, you mentioned improv there, and I'll come back to that later, but how did you get involved with Facts then? Did someone see you doing a gig one night and say, come on, do our videos, or did you just know someone who knew someone? Or?
So yeah, it was a bit of both, I think. So one of the original producers, she's actually not there anymore. She's done some bigger and better things. A great woman. She put out a Facebook post saying, like, if anyone knows any comedians or that type of person that you think would be good for this type of thing, let me know. And a friend of mine from college just mentioned my name or tagged me in it. And then I think she came to see a couple of my stand-up shows on the sly and then invited me in. She got drunk one night and was like, I've seen that bit about this and this. And I was like, why did you come to see it? Stealth mode produced it. So she sneakily saw a load of stand-up and that was it. I didn't know if I was going to get asked back after the first couple because I was so like awkward and shy, but thankfully they kept me on.
No, thankfully they did. It's great. I mean, I'm the kind of fellow, I'd admit it, I won't watch it for like a month or two, maybe more, but then I'll just fall into a hole and suddenly I've watched fucking 20 of them, you know?
You binge on it, yeah, I do.
Exactly. And I was telling, because I had Ryan Cullen on months and months ago, and I was telling him as well that, like, sometimes even when I can't sleep, I'll put it on because just laughter just relaxes you and it sends me off like a little baby. It's great.
Yeah. Like, I find if I'm like that restless at night, like I can't listen to music because I think my brain gets sort of like worked up to music and starts switching on. Whereas if I listen to something like a podcast or like even a comedy album or something, and it's that like just nice mellow voices and humour and everything's upbeat and nice, it nearly lulls me to sleep. So
I'm probably a bit like you with the music then, Laura, because it's like when I don't know, I'm the worst fucking person in the world to go to a concert with or a gig with, because I stand near the back to get all the sound and I'm thinking like, what's the drummer doing? What's the bassist doing? What's the guitarist doing? And I never listen to the song as a whole, you know? So I can't enjoy it. I'm jealous of how other people enjoy music, because it's like, fuck, I wish I never learned to play anything, you know?
Yeah. Well, I was like that, like, when I was younger, I would have, I only ever listened to the music, and like as a young kid, I'd like the sound of a song would definitely be the first thing that completely took me in, and that would capture me. And like now listening back to songs that I would have loved, I'm like, Jesus, the lyrics are really meaningful and they're really sad or something. You know, how have I not realised this? Is because I'm listening to all the different bits of the music. That's what's caught my attention as opposed to the message of the lyrics. So sometimes I feel bad. I'm like, Jesus, this person's poured their heart out into these lyrics, and I'm like, yeah, but that deadly guitar. I went to see Beyonce, and I was like, wow, look at them. Like, she had an entire female band, and I was like, this is what girl power is. Look at that bassist, she's real. Like, and just watching her, the band, like, I think Beyonce came into the crowd at one stage, or she's on a catwalk, like, in the middle, and I was like, yeah, but look at the band.
Look at that awesome bass guitar. I'm the same, man. I don't know, like, I've owned, like, multiple versions of different Pearl Jam albums, or the same Pearl Jam albums, and I've seen them God knows how many times, but I know the words to fuck all of their songs, because I don't listen to the music.
Or I know all the words, but wouldn't, like, if you asked me to write them down, I'd be like, I don't know, I know the sound of them, but I don't know what it means.
Yeah, I wanted to congratulate you on them because, you know, you're part of the team there. They have like 850,000 subscribers. I think that's like, was it 100 million views or
we're well on
something?
our way to.
You'll have a million
Like
subscribers by
a
the end of
crazy
this year.
amount.
Like, it's amazing. So
Oh, easily,
well
yeah.
done. Like, well
I think
done.
a few of them have a wager on when we'll hit it. It depends on like, well, we need just one like viral video to really take off, and I think we'll do it. But
Okay.
a few people have said around like June to August, I think, is when they presume to hit it, which is just, it's really exciting.
I'll cut that. I'm going to cut that bit out, right? That's for me, and I'm going to contact Paddy Power tomorrow. With facts, Laura, it must be pretty weird because, you know, you go into an office and you shoot a video or you do a clump of videos at the same time. You probably do because they're only 5 or 10 minutes long. You know, you're being seen by literally fucking hundreds of thousands of people, and then you come walking out and you go to your day job and you're anonymous again. It must be a pretty weird feeling.
It is, yeah. It's like, because everyone's so down to earth in the office, and like the people that you do stuff with, we're all normal people. Like there's actors and there's comedians and writers and things like that, but a lot of us have just completely normal day jobs, you know. And like where I'm from, it's one of those places where it's a real small town. It has a small town vibe, just like being in Dublin, and everyone seems to know everybody, but no one knows me for the videos.
Yeah.
So it's like I just feel completely normal, and then the other time, like you'd be walking around the city centre and someone will stop you and be like, "Oh my god!" And I'm here looking around going like, "Who are they talking to?" It's really bizarre. It's very flattering, but like it's really bizarre. I'm like, you shouldn't be like making a fuss, you know. When like say at a Longitude festival this year, you couldn't go 20 minutes without someone coming up to you and chatting to you about the videos, which are like, it's lovely to hear that people are taking an interest and that they enjoy it. And yeah, I love meeting people as well. Just, you know.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. And
like you get the odd message, you know.
That kind of brings me on to what I want to ask you next. So you must get some kind of creepy shit, because look, I found something today, and I don't know if you know it's there. It's something on YouTube, and this guy has do you know Dark Souls 3, the console game? You don't know?
No,
this,
but I think I may have found this on Reddit.
So this guy has a YouTube channel where he explains to people how to create the faces of people as playable characters in this game. And so this guy, his name is Flash Greer. He's created one in your likeness. Now that's pretty weird.
It is. Yeah. I can know, because I saw it, because a while ago I had to check. I deleted just old crappy YouTube videos that I had up, because like, you know, online persona, and I don't like anyone to see videos of me as like a 16-year-old talking shite, you know, in school and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to delete it, and then I just googled my name to see if any of the old videos were still coming up or anything like that, or if there was anything on anyone else's account that I could be like, oh hey, this is a really bad sentence, that could you take it down? And I'm like, what the hell is this? Like like a step by step on how to make me.
Yeah.
I think I look like great. I think about 6'2" or something. Yeah, come on. Make me not look like a short artist.
When Ryan was on, there was something as well. Someone had put together a little compilation of his videos, and you know Ryan, and you know his comedy, and he's very straight to the bone. But he was really, really lovely about this. So maybe he knew that person or something. But I don't know. I think it's a bit mad. I don't know if I'd be able.
Someone has started doing what do they call it? Like a compilation video nearly of my best grimaces, which I was like, okay.
That's mad.
Just anytime I've tried food or like, you know, like it's red wine, and I'm just kind of like, bleh. Started making a kind of a video of it, and yeah, they showed me like a 30-second clip of it, and I was like, that's actually pretty cool. You know, I'd rather someone be like, this is all the time she looked like a fool, rather than like, this is the time that you blinked once, you know. I'm all for the crack. Like.
On the other side of the spectrum, I have something that it's not really creepy, but it's kind of cool and it's personal. It's that in one of the facts videos, it was called, and I had to look it up, it was, you were doing your makeup, and it was how I used to do my makeup. So when you were teenagers, and it's all the girls putting on their makeup like they used to do it. My wife's a graphic designer, and some of her stuff gets sold by pennies, and you're wearing one of her tops. It was awesome.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was mad.
What, is that a black one?
Yeah, it's like an Aztec-y type of thing.
I love that top. Yeah, I wore it to death in Australia. I'm pretty sure, like, I had, because there's lace at the top of it, and the sun got through and my shoulders were like took on the design of it. So cool. Oh my
That's deadly. I'll
God.
tell her she'll be over the moon now when she hears this. Yeah, and if
I'm over the moon that she designed because it's a great job.
yeah, she will. She'll love this. So I'll give her a plug if anyone wants to see her designs. Google search Shutterstock and Red Koala Design. Anyway, that's the plug for the wife. I've never plugged it before.
Oh.
That sounds rude. Sorry. Jesus, oh, she'll kill me. Laura, let's go back to something you said. You mentioned that the facts video are really good at giving you a sense of improv. So I don't know if you do improv. Do you do it, or would you like to do it, or what?
I did a bit of it in college. I'm I'm really bad at speaking, as you probably noticed. Even though it's something I'm trying to build a career on. So like, I'm the type of person you can't really think on their feet, and it's someone will say something to me, and then 3 days later in the shower, I'll be like, aha, that's what I should have said to you. But I do, yeah, I enjoy improv. I love watching improv. Whose Line Is It Anyway is one of my favorite things ever. But yeah, it's something I should probably spend a bit more time practicing, just because it's a great skill to have.
And you mentioned earlier as well about the plays. Were they musicals, or because you were studying music? No, they were proper plays.
No, proper plays. They weren't usually comedic little things. I wrote a trilogy of plays in college, and the last one was nominated for an Irish Student Drama Award, which that was what I wanted, and that was what I got. So yeah, it was. Didn't win now. Jeez, it was dog shit, but like it was nominated.
Would you go back to that once you're kind of more settled in the stand-up?
I don't know. Like I still have a few plays that I've written or that I've started, or concepts that I've written down, and I'd love to get back into it, but I'm not hugely involved with any sort of theatre group anymore. So it'd be kind of difficult to find the means of getting into it. But sure, I'd love to. There's some great facilities in Ireland for like, if you're a budding writer, artist, or whatever, and like the Smock Alley Festival is coming up, and there's lots of new first-time writers coming out there. So yeah, might be something for in the next couple of years, try and get something staged again. It'd be nice.
Well, yeah, no, that'd be great. Yeah, no, definitely. If you have a love for it, give it a try. You've nothing to lose except your name and fame and fortune.
Yeah, dignity, all that.
I saw on Twitter the other day that you had who was it? Stoneface Films had a tweet, and you retweeted it, and it was you were filming something. So, can you tell us about this, or is it a secret?
Yeah, no, it's so Stoneface are a film production company. They make lots of videos, particularly like music videos and stuff. They've done some amazing ones for Irish bands and things like that. And this one was for like a sort of a travel magazine sort of thing. So it was like 24 hours in Dublin was the theme, and it was kind of to do with the Six Nations. So you kind of went around Dublin, looked at some of our famous landmarks, went and watched the match, had a bite to eat and a pint and stuff like that, and just kind of highlighted stuff to do. Stoneface are an amazing company, and they've been a really good podcast that you should check out. Ryan has appeared on it a number of times, and Davey, one of the other Facts contributors, is one of the co-hosts of it. So yeah,
Davey Riley, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. No, I will. I saw that they do a movies podcast. So if you recommend it, I'll give it a listen anyway.
Yeah, do. It's great crack.
Have you stopped using music in your set? Because I know you used to play the ukulele and the guitar on stage.
Yeah, it's something that I go back to every so often. I found when I first started out, what I was doing was I'd do a comedy song, awkward segue, comedy song, no segue, just a bit of mumbling, comedy song, my reasoning behind it was like, oh, well, no one can heckle you if you're singing a song. How rude would it be to be like, you don't go up to like Paddy in the pub who's like singing an El Shan No song with his eyes closed and be like, shut up, you're shit. So, I was like, but then I started using it as a crutch nearly, I thought this was how to get away with not being heckled, or how to get away with standing on your own on stage with just you and a microphone, because I love hiding behind an instrument. And so I tried to wean myself off, I suppose, and at the moment, like the sets I'm currently doing, I have any music in it. I do still write songs, it's just trying to fit them in, and like setting myself at the task of writing stuff. Like the last time I did one, I think it was just before or just after Donald Trump was elected. I had a song that kind of fit in with that I'd never really used. So I was like, okay, now's the time to crack this baby out and see where this goes.
Cool.
But yeah.
And it went down
I think
good.
sometimes there's it went down well enough. Yeah. A few times I tried it. I think there can be a bit of an epidemic of manic pixie dream girls with ukuleles on stage sometimes. And I'm happy to join my fellow pixie sisters, but yeah, just trying to find something that's different in my own way. I'm still finding my feet.
Do you have any sights set on, you know yourself, if you want to make it in comedy in Ireland, you kind of have to do it in England. You tour Ireland, you get known in Ireland first, and then you got to go across the water. Have you any desires to do that, or?
Yeah, well, I can't see myself moving to the UK anytime soon, but I think this is my year for starting to make contacts in London and stuff. I have a competition next week. A week from tomorrow. No, that's a lie. It's Saturday week. Good job, me turning up in London a few days early, being like, what am I doing? Yeah, like I don't know if anything will come from it, but I plan to make at least a few contacts who can maybe point me in the right direction or point me towards who to go to for gigs. Edinburgh is another big one. I've applied for Edinburgh. I'm still waiting to hear back if I've gotten a slot. Regardless of whether I do or not, I'll be going over again. I go over every year and work there, but last year, again, it was all about making contacts, taking as many open spots as I could, and just trying to get the name out there.
You're fierce hard on yourself, Laura.
I've been told that. I can be self-critical, but I'm constantly trying to improve it. It's such a difficult Generation Y person. I hate to settle and I hate to think that I'm not giving it my all. But like I'm one of those like optimistic pessimists at the same time, where I'm like it's definitely going to go to shite, but it'll be grand. I don't mind.
Yeah, it's kind of like I get just like, well, if it does go to shite, I'll be able to cope with it then anyway.
Yeah, exactly. on the outside, anyway.
One final question. I always ask this. What would be the worst piece of advice you could give to someone thinking of getting into stand-up?
The worst piece of advice?
Yeah.
Don't prepare. Don't prepare at all. Just wing it. When I was a kid, I used to think that, I was such a huge comedy fan, and I used to watch Billy Connolly. I was like, how does he come up with these stories on the spot? Like, I honestly thought that's what comedians did. They'd go up on stage and on the top of their head, they'd just come up with a story and suddenly make people laugh. And I was like, wow, they're wizards. But then I realized you actually have to write stuff down and practice this. And I think there's like a misconception, especially I've seen that new comedians, that if you just get locked and swear on stage, it'll be grand anyway, and that's just not the case. I think prepare. The best thing you could do would be to prepare and go to gigs. Like I don't mean go to the O2 and see Bill Bailey or whatever. I'm saying like go to the small gigs and the back rooms of pubs and the free gigs and the college gigs, because that's where everyone starts out, and that's where you hone your talent before you make it to the big stages. I love seeing. There's two things I love seeing, and they sound bad, but it'll sound bad initially, but it'll get better. Okay. So I love seeing a brand new act do their first ever stand-up gig, and they bring their entire family and all their friends, and they rock it. And their family is like cheering them on, and then they come back the next time to do their second gig, and no one has come to see them, and they die in their hole. And I like seeing that wake-up call in them, where they're like, "Oh, it's not that easy." But then, what I really, really love seeing is them come back for a third time, and it's that determination of like, yeah, well, everyone has good gigs, I have bad gigs. I'm going to go for this, and that's why I have so much admiration for that person who comes back the third time, whether they have people with them or not, but they're going to keep going with it. I think it's such an admirable thing.
You know what, Laura? I couldn't agree with you more, and it's something that I've picked up on through doing the podcast. A lot of people have the stereotype of comedians as these sad, depressed alcoholics, and the thing is, it's bullshit. Like, the people I've spoken to, they're just the most determined people in the world. And like you say, they come back after dying on their ass and say, no, I'm going to do this and I'm going to improve, you know?
Yeah, there's nothing, like, we are all sad and depressed, but we're also determined at the same time. There was one time a newish comedian got up on stage, and there was a heap of comedians sitting at the back, and they went, so I've got depression, and everyone looked at them and was like, yeah, you're talking to a room of comedians. We're all mad, like, but yeah, there is that determination, and yeah, I think that's what makes a decent circle to hang in, because we're all, like, there's not a lot of support. No one's trying to, like, take each other down or anything, or like stop people from getting gigs. It's really, really encouraging. At least the scene in Ireland is, I found. Yeah, we all got each other's backs.
Laura, can you give us your social media, or any website you have, your YouTube channel, whatever you want to plug?
Yeah, well, you can find us at the Facts channel. It's on YouTube. Don't know what it's called. Facts. Just facts with a little stuff afterwards, which makes things very awkward when you're trying to type it. Things get capitalized, and you're like, I didn't want a capital letter there. And then you can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat at Byrne, LOLSYBY, where I need. There you can follow my adventures of my daily normal person.
Laura Byrne, thanks so much for coming on the Comedy Cast. I've had a great time with you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Laura Byrne there. Big thanks to Laura for coming on the Comedy Cast. Really appreciate her taking time out of her day to answer my questions and talk about comedy. Make sure and check out the Facts videos if you haven't already. There's loads of them. And like me, you'll quickly fall down a hole, and before you realise it, you'll have watched 20 in a row. They're really, really cool, and it's really great to watch them because you're getting to see young Irish comedians at the start of their career before they're massive, you know. That's almost it then for this episode of the Comedy Cast. Just a few reminders then before I go. You can listen to us on thecomedycast.com. We're on iTunes, we're on Android podcast players, and we're on YouTube as well. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you can email me at spud@thecomedycast.com. And if you'd like to follow the Comedy Cast on social media, then the easiest way of doing it is going to thecomedycast.com, and on the left-hand side of the page, you'll see the little icons there for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you have a spare moment as well, I really appreciate people leaving reviews and 4 or 5 stars on iTunes. It really helps boost the Comedy Cast place on podcast aggregators. So yeah, please do that, and sure, spread the word among your friends as well. World domination is where we're stopping at. Right, I'll stop yammering on then. I'll speak to you on the next episode of the Comedy Cast. Good luck.